Hello, hello, hello. We are back again this week with another 50 stack challenge prompt from Amy at Crafty Cat. I am very far behind on her challenge, but if this is something you're wanting to follow along, just go look at her channel, either Amy at Crafty Cat, or follow the hashtag 50 stack challenge 4, because this is their 4th time to host this challenge, and see what her prompts are. But today, I'm going to be working on prompts number 15 and 16. 15 is Poppy, 16 is Shabby, and I'm going to put a spin on each one of those and come out with 2 pieces of ephemera when we are all done. So welcome to my channel if you're new, and if you are returning, welcome back. My name is Marcy, and I've been making videos about junk journals and creating things with paper, and just love hanging out with you guys every week. So for my prompt on Poppy, I have a pile of things here we're going to create with. And then for Shabby, we're going to do something kind of similar, a little bit of a different spin on what I create with this. Let's get started. It's a beautiful spring day here in Southwest Idaho, just gorgeous, not too hot and not too cold. I had the window open, but unfortunately along with spring comes the advent of lawn guys, and so I forget every year when I start to open my windows and then start to record that pretty much 4 out of 5 days a week we have somebody somewhere nearby getting their lawn done. So I had to shut the window. This first idea today is from a video that I watched by Dee Dee Farago. Every year she runs her Don't Freak Out Before Christmas series, where she does 3 items in a 15-minute time frame, and gives you ideas for how to be ready to do your Christmas journals and things like that. So this one has been in the back of my mind. I've been waiting for an opportunity to make it, and I think this is perfect. So the first thing I want to do is I pulled out a piece of 12 by 12 scrapbook paper, and Dee Dee was working with 8.5 by 11s, so I'm just going to bring it down to an 8.5 size. I think that'll be fine, because by the time I fold this, it should wind up at about 4 inches wide. So let me trim this down. Let's figure out which way I want to be the top and which way I want it to be the bottom, because that'll help me decide what I want to trim off. So we're going to fold this into a tube and glue it down, and it's going to end up looking kind of like a paper sack, or at least it does to me. So what I want to figure out is which part do I want to show and which part do I want to trim off. And I'm going to trim off this bottom part here and make it so it's only 8.5 inches high, this being the top of the page. Be right back. There we go. So she used 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper. Obviously mine is going to be 8.5 by 12. It really won't matter because of how we are going to fold this. So she just folded it into a tube-like shape, just basically into thirds. And I'm going to kind of use the grid on my mat here to get it roughly 4 inches wide. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's about 4.5. That will be fine. If you want, you can always trim a little bit more off, or just start with an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, or even a book page, oversized book page. Very often are that size anyway. So we're going to fold it into a tube shape, and then I'm going to find my center of this front piece and just give it a little crease. So I folded my 2 sides together. I folded where these creases are because that will center my front piece. Gave it a little crease right there. And then we're going to turn it into like a tuxedo by cutting along that crease and trimming down about 1.5 inches and folding these little sides back. Let's see, we want it to look like a collar. For some reason these always look like little tuxedos to me. Here we go. And before I do any gluing, I want that to be a little less white. And so I'm just going to use my little paper here to stick under there. I'm just going to ink these up and take some of the whiteness off of that, because it's a lot easier to do now than after I have glued the whole thing together. Dee Dee's Dee Dee's videos are nice and short, so if you decide to go watch how she did hers, I'll have it linked below. But it's fun to do, you know, projects from one person's challenge when you're creating for another person's challenge. It's like mixing and matching your coordinates for your outfits. Now what I do want to do, because this is just a little bit too wide, I am going to kind of trim this off a little bit, about that much, about 1 inch. There's just a lot of overlap there, and then that just gets in the way when you're trying to slide things in and out of your pockets. So I'm going to glue really fast. And I glue along the bottom edge of the underneath piece and the top edge of the piece that's going to fold over. And that way you should get a nice bond that holds the whole thing together. This is something you really don't need measurements for. You can just take any old piece of paper and do it this way. Okay, now we've cut our paper here into a collar. And then what she did, she turned it into a couple of pockets at the bottom, and she found her measurement by folding this up in half. And there's our middle. There's a crease there. And then I'm just folding it both ways so that it gets a good crease in it. And then she just folded this top part right back down. I got kind of a wide fat pocket here. And so what I have here is a zigzag fold, if you can tell. So if you didn't want to use the 12 inches wide, you can do 11 inches wide, or you can do even narrower piece of paper or a longer piece of paper. Just find whichever measurements you like. And then she made this pocket. Now I pulled out a bunch of stuff to decorate with, and I can already tell that this pocket is too squatty, too short. So we will just go with it. But if you wanted to do something else, you could certainly, you know, if you just want your pocket a little bit taller or wider, just play around with it. So by the time I'm all done, this pocket has wound up about 4 1/4 inches high by 5 inches wide. Okay, so then what we're going to do to make our cute, easy little pockets is we're going to glue this right here along these two edges up to the crease, from this crease at the bottom to the center fold. We're going to fold that up so it makes a pocket right here. And then over here, we are going to, let's see, so, okay, so we have the crease here, so that closes up one edge. We're going to go along the one short side and the other long side. Depending on which side you glue will determine which way it winds up in your journal later on. So what that does is it makes another pocket right back here. Oops. Let me squeeze it down for a second. It didn't quite grab yet. Right here. And then you're going to have another pocket under here. And I need to grab an index card. So I brought this one. I'm hoping it will work, and we'll decorate this one up too. This is a card from Celeste. When you order from Celeste at Woodland Inspired, she labels everything with these cute little things. Looks like most of these are going to be too long. Here's the index card. Let's see if this will fit in there like that and still. Oh, nice. Okay. Doesn't quite, you can just slide it in so it doesn't stick out all the way, or slide it in and it will have a little tab to pull it back out with. So the index card fits down here very nicely. And then we just need a little pocket or a little tag right here. I have shorter ones that I have just cut out of manila folder and stuff, so let's go with that one. It's shorter and wider, and I can trim some off the bottom to make it fit in there better. Or you could even use another another index card if you wanted. So that's it. That's the basics of the pocket. So what I did was I brought over just a bunch of these little scraps, and then I also have this little tag that I did not use last week when I was matching up decorations, the embellishments with the unfinished ephemera. And I noticed this one had a poppy on it, so I grabbed it out for today. And I'm gonna I just inked over where that was cracking there, so that shows doesn't show as much. And then I think since I'm gonna use this in here, I want this to be a little bit shorter, so I'm gonna trim that off. If you're good at trimming straight with scissors, go ahead and do that. I'm not. I'm past stressing over it, so I don't really care. But I just go with it now. I'm going to round the corners on this little tag. And I think I'd like to round the corners on this, although I may be premature because by the time I decorate it, by the time I get it all decorated up, I may end up having to do it again anyway. This is such an old punch, but I love the little tiny scallop it gives. I just can't punch it on things that are too thin or else it gets stuck. Okay, so we're gonna have this in here, this here, and this here. And maybe I'll save that one for the other one. And then if we want, we can still decorate this. All right, so let's decorate up really fast. I shouldn't say really fast, that's silly. I'm never really fast when I do these things. But what I have here are a few things that I have found as I've been going through and cleaning out that are poppy related. So I think that's kind of cool. All right, so what I would like to do, let's see, it'd be really awesome if I can get, yeah, if I have enough to do both. I think the easiest way to determine that is to leave a little bit. Hanging off the top here, because I want to have a little edge showing up there and have the tab be plain, kind of. Oh, that's going to be upside down. Okay, see, good thing we checked. All right, we want it to go this way. Yay. Oh, look, and it even says poppy right there. So if I put that one there, I'm going to bring it over to the edge. I'm going to just draw myself a marker. Oh, here's the lined side. Do I want the plain side or the lined side? Oh, in order to make both of these fit, this guy has to scoot over. I'll leave the lined side up. That's okay. So I'm going to glue this one down first and then put this one down. They're just going to be nudging each other. I'm going to put a little glue stick in the middle to help it lay flat, and then some glue around the edges so that they stay down securely. I should move that pencil. And we will do it like this. There we go. Yep. And now I'm only going to glue to right about there. So let's draw myself a line there. Throw some glue in the middle. These little index cards that Celeste sends her things with are just the cutest. And they're so fun to reuse. I'm going to add some more because there's a lot of empty unglued space. There we go. All right. Now the trick is going to be cutting right between those two. Can she do it, folks? Can she do it? I can if I trim this off. I've trimmed that off on that side, and then I'm going to go right between here with scissors, and I should be okay doing this because I have a visible edge to go against, to cut against, and even so it's not straight, but whatever. Okay. So her corners are already rounded on this. I'm going to trim it with the scissors to follow. Yeah, beautiful spring day. Loving the fact that everything is all of a sudden, literally overnight, looking happy again. And I'm just going to trim these with scissors. And anyway, one thing about spring too, besides the lawn guys, is that our weeds just have popped up overnight too. They're very excited to see spring come. I have to go out and do a little bit of weeding. Where I am, the weeds do not die back in the winter, so you are never quite ahead of the game. They're always, they just kind of winter over and stay a little bit fresh and green, whether you like it or not. Okay, I'm going to round the, or ink the edges. And then same over here, and now I will have two coordinating pieces that go in my pocket. Easy as pie. I was very excited to find this scrap, I have to tell you, because poppies are not something I typically decorate with. If you have any of the Edith Holden books, you know, that you like to make things with, there are a few poppy pages in there, I know. Okay, so the inking will also highlight the fact that I had a little detail on the corner there. It's kind of not quite straight right here. Yeah, just beautiful days we're having this last week. Last week though, we had a big downpour. And we discovered that we have a leak around our front door. It's leaking from somewhere up on the roof and coming down through our door frame. So we're dealing with that. Trying to figure out, get somebody out here to look at it and figure out where the leak is coming from, and then figure out how to get it all coordinated and repaired. And for those of you who own your own homes, I'm going to give you a little word of caution right now, because we called our insurance and they said basically if we file a claim on anything that's not catastrophic, they will deny our insurance coverage. They might pay out, but they probably won't, and then they will cancel our policy. And it's standard right now across the industry. So if you have a problem with your home, you're gonna have to figure out how to do it out of pocket, or be prepared to have your insurance canceled, which is just ridiculous if you ask me. Why am I paying in year over year, month over, well, we only pay it annually, so not month over month, but we save up month over month. Pay it annually. Never had a claim, and here we are, being told that if we have a claim, they're going to cancel our insurance. So it's just crazy, crazy world. Irresponsible. There's no accountability, right? Okay, so anyway, I thought I'd maybe give you guys a heads up on that, because if you do have a problem, do be aware. That's what we have a company we go through that basically brokers the insurance, and then we called them first, and that was the advice they gave us. So unless a meteorite falls on my house, or my entire front of my house caves in because of water damage, right? Because why would we want to prevent a problem instead of cleaning up after there's a disaster? It's just illogical and unwise, inefficient. Anyway, it is what it is. So we carry on. Now I did not put the glue around the edges here, so let's get that all secured. Batten down the hatches. Let's see what else we got going on. Let's see. So we had Easter, then the following week we had my mom's birthday party, and then Last weekend was kind of quiet, but my younger daughter, we went to a small ceremony for her where she got inducted into the National Honor Society for Counselors, which is a big deal. It means that she's studied really hard and worked really hard and been recognized for all of that. And it's also really a really important milestone for her because she has ADHD, and so it's always been harder for her to concentrate and focus on things, especially school, but she has persevered and she's studying a topic that she absolutely loves. And so it was nice to see that they recognize that she's worked so hard, you know. Now I might put that across the bottom. Yeah, I think I will. So yeah, we had that. It was quick. It was like a 15-minute ceremony. And then we went out to dinner, so that was nice. And then this weekend, next Sunday, this coming Sunday, is our anniversary. So we are going to go see a Michael W. Smith concert on Friday night in honor of our anniversary, and also because we like Michael W. Smith. Anyway, so that'll be fun. And other than just the usual stuff happening, that's all we got going on in our lives. What have you guys got going on? I feel really kind of low key and laid back today. I think because I'm on top of my game. I actually went back and got up and I scheduled my Walmart pickup order for first thing this morning at like 9 o'clock, so I would get up and get moving. And then I went to the bank, and now I'm here making a video, so I'm really feeling like I've got my act together today. Let's make sure this is straight. Yesterday I got up to the lovely surprise that my husband had cleaned up the kitchen and done the dishes that had been sitting there overnight. So that was a happy occurrence. Now let's see, I could do that there so it sticks out of the bottom. Yeah, I'm gonna do that because there's the yellow in the paper. And we'll figure out something else here. Okay. I'm only going to glue to right about there. Do you guys have any plans for spring? Do you have graduations coming up or weddings anything like that? We have a family reunion planned, but that's later in the summer. We have spring is when all of our birthdays and everything happens, so originally it was our two girls and my mother-in-law who had the May birthdays. We lost my mother-in-law a number of years ago, and then now one of my sons-in-law has a May birthday, so we still have 3 May birthdays. So we just, with my mom in April, and anyway, we have a lot of birthdays in the spring. We have a budget, let's just say, that rivals the Christmas budget. Because birthdays happen, they're not a surprise. We know these people have been born. So anyway, we just plan for it, but it is a busy time. And then you add in Mother's Day and our anniversary and Easter and Father's Day and all the things. That's a lot of celebrating in a short amount of time. All right, so here's these two. Let's see how we're looking. Oh, need to get a spot of glue right there. Okay, so there's that. And here's this. Okay, I think I'm gonna want to just honestly just trim it just a teensy bit right there. I'll go ahead and repunch because it's just now with the extra paper, it's just a little bit too thick. And we'll throw some ink back on that. Nice, nice. Okay. Oops. Slide this in here. So I'm going to try to keep really good track of my time today. My timer has officially died, so I threw it out. But I keep forgetting to get a new one when I go to the store. So now this reminds me here that this needs to be tacked down. Little points on its collar. You know, if you were doing some other, depending on what type of journal you're doing, little pocket right there would be so cute. Have I already done that? I feel like maybe I've done that before, but I don't remember. Okay, so there's that. And I do have some focal points for that and for this. Let's give him a hole. Can you hear my husband? He's right across the hall. One thing about it, I'm still in process of trying to figure out, well, not figure out, I know what I'm gonna do, but getting things cleaned out so I can move my craft room downstairs. And I was realizing that it actually is gonna be kind of nice to be able to record a little bit away from him. I mean, I'm losing like 40 square feet of space. I'm gonna talk while I grab a reinforcer for here. So I measured the spaces, and in addition to not having a closet, I won't have my calyx unit where everything is stuffed in the cubbies, and I won't have this dresser where I stuff things. But I did realize that one of the perks is going to be that I can record down there and it'll be just a little bit quieter when I'm doing that. I'm still trying to figure out my setup, how I want it all set up, but I think I'm kind of getting there. I just have to figure out the storage space, and honestly, before I go too far, I'm probably just gonna have to leave some of it up here in the closet and on these shelves while I work down there and get some of the inventory reduced, because even though I'm doing the decluttering, it still doesn't account for the fact that there's just not space. And I think once I see it all set up with, once I see it all set up with the desk down there, and then some of the things I know have to go down, like my stamps, the unit that holds my stamps, there's 2 of them, and then the 2 towers that are in the closet right here, I should be able to, I like this, but I wanted the straight side. Here we go, maybe this way. I should be able to, after I get the stuff that I know is going downstairs figured out, then maybe I can rearrange how I want it to go. This is just a scrap of green, but it had the right colors in it to go with the papers and stuff. I think I needed to tear it the other direction, coming from the other way. Okay. There's that. I kind of like, I'm going to end up covering up these words, but that's fine. This is just a scrap of a gold doily where I've used the edges and not the middle. I wasn't sure if I was going to use that paper or not. Maybe not. Let's only use half the doily. I kind of wanted this poppy to show though. So, also I think that paper right here was just a little too white. It was from a master board. I did a collaged paper sack and then cut it up. Honestly, I was just practicing my collage because I didn't really know how to do it. Let's see, let's try that. So it was good practice. But then I cut it up into pieces, and I was like, now what? Now what do I do with it? And I think I have improved skills now. So, you know, a lot of these techniques you do, just don't worry about whether or not you've actually made something beautiful, because sometimes the process, learning the process or the practice of it is as educational and fun as having a finished project. So I need a clamp. I don't have anything. So I will very carefully glue. Let's see, let's start with this one. One thing about these, I Mod Podged them, put the Mod Podge on there to seal it, and it's very stiff and a little bit slickery. Uh-oh. Oh, well that was not, okay. So the art glitter glue works well to stick on here with. Now is that stuck down? Nope. All right, that's not the end of the world. There is a crease right there. It's probably why it ripped, but I'm gonna end up covering it up anyway with something. So yeah, the process and the practice, you know, is just as valuable as having a beautiful piece. So sometimes you may sit here and just play around with your collage or whatever, and maybe you don't really do anything with it, or you don't know what to do with it, but you've learned, you've practiced the skill. You know, I'd say all the great artists over time, sculptors and painters and potters and glass blowers and everybody else, part of the play is in the learning the technique and practicing it. And I don't think they showed you every single thing they ever made either. So here we go. Now the back of this is already, I had used lined papers and plain papers to try to cover the back with. If you want to see that, go to my playlist marked Ephemera, and it's either an Ephemera or Chat and Craft, not sure. Anyway, just search on my channel for paper sack collage and you will find the whole shebang there. Okay, this is not sticking very well. Needs some pressure. So I'm gonna sit here and hold it for a minute. So this is a good time to remind you that I am part of the hashtag Give a Scrap. It's a collaboration that was started and hosted by Angela Schrad over at the Traveling Crafter, and I know I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago in my video. Well, this Saturday is my upload day, so I hope you guys will tune in. You're going to get an extra video this week on Saturday. Now, what happens when I have more than one upload in a week is that my analytics get kind of skewed because I don't get the full momentum from the current week's video before the next one uploads, and so it always looks like I don't, you know, like you guys aren't out there. So if you have a chance, watch this one before you watch the Saturday one. But you'll get an extra one this week on Saturday. And speaking of momentum and views, I got a pleasant surprise this week when you guys all, I'm trying to figure out how I want to use this. I liked the color, but I don't know if that's gonna work. You guys all really showed up for this last week's video, and I don't know if it was the title or if it was the topic. I noticed that videos on Ephemera seem to do a lot better. Okay, what I'm wanting to do is maybe put some music here, or will that clash with that? I also have these words that I honestly just picked because of the color. It's an old scrap of stuff that I know I won't actually decorate with, so we just use the text in the background. It's cut out of an old church bulletin from the 60s, I think. Let's do that, and then I wanted, no, I don't want that, but maybe this green can tie in. That'll look cool. Okay, so what I need to do is figure out which of these little pieces is going where. So I have these little flowers. I have this little tag. Oh no, this little tag goes in here. This is a sticker, which actually maybe should just go right there. That's a good spot for him. There's that, and then I have this embellishment thingy. Oh, look at that. Nice. Okay, and then I found this last week. Oh, look at that. Boom. Finished. Well, that was fun. I love it when a plan comes together like that. So anyway, thanks for watching last week's video. I've got, I had 3 weeks where my views, 3 or 4 weeks, were just really low. I mean, I know part of it was Easter and spring break, but you know, you never can tell for sure why things do or don't take off. But man, last week was a nice surprise because everybody came and had lots of good views on that video. So thank you, thank you. So I hope I have more again this week. But so please watch the watch the video this week for Wednesday before you watch the Saturday, or watch both on the same day. I don't care. Just if you have time, please watch both, and then also enjoy watching all the other videos and creators in the series. The thing about a collaboration, or a hop in this case, is that it gives a chance for a variety of artists to interact and showcase each other's work, and just to participate in a fun activity together, and hopefully, ideally, grow each other's channels, and, you know, just give exposure to a lot of people. So it's really fun. It's great. Oh, that's perfect, because without me planning it, this has a gold detail on it. Look at that. Ooh, I like that. I like that. I like that. And then this will go here, and that'll go there. And then I thought I had some black and whites to put on these two, but apparently not. So we'll leave them as they are, but they are still decorated up. Okay, let me get to gluing here real fast, and we'll move on to the next one. Yeah, so our whole theme on this hop is using up scraps, which I seem to feel like that's all I do, is use up scraps, to the detriment of actually making projects I want to make. And then also trying to repurpose things from around the house. So I have so many ideas going through my head that I haven't quite settled on one yet that I actually want to do for the video. So, oh my goodness, this turned out so unexpectedly cute. I think covering up that stuff in the middle was exactly what it needed. And because I was cleaning out all of my ephemera and stuff, I was able to find things that would work for this project. I've had the luxury of having extra time, which normally it takes a while to, you know, go through things to find what you want to make stuff with, which is why I very often tend to just accumulate piles of things together. Excuse me. For instance, if I know I want to do a certain theme of a journal, then every time I run across something that could go with that theme, I save it in a bag altogether, and then I have all the things assembled. But I get too impatient when I try to... Do I want this raised up? There's not a lot of definition to it. Actually, what is so cool? What if I lined these up, now that I put the hole reinforcer there, and made this just go through? Oh, that won't work, because then you can't pull this tag out. Okay, we'll make it look like it's that tag. We'll make it look like it's the ribbon for this tag. There you go. Okay, well that wants to stick, so we'll let it. I think it's okay. I'm gonna go with it. If it starts to pop up later, I'll just re-glue. Look at that, so cute. Okay, I'm gonna leave that out while I glue these down. I've been watching a lot of home decor videos. I don't know why, they just popped up in my feed, so I've just been doing it. And learning some of the principles that are good in home design, I feel like also can go into your paper crafting, or if you're a quilter or whatever creative thing you like to do, you can employ some of those principles in your art. And it also looks great. I am seeing a little black scrap over here because I thought this might benefit from some black in it. And that's one of the principles of design, is to incorporate a little black. Now, I would say it doesn't have to be black. It could be like dark brown or a dark navy or a deep dark green, but to just have a little pop of dark. And even though I didn't use that scrap, we've got it here and here. And even the black on the papers. Now, I'm seeing that that is still very white compared to the rest of it. There we go. So I'm going to put this in for now. Oh my gosh. That is really cute. I'm not bragging. I'm just like unexpectedly pleased with myself, and I actually made two. So I have that, and I have this. This needs a hole. I'm gonna probably wait. I want to punch it with a different hole punch. or I could just staple some ribbon up there. Okay, there's those two, and now let's get on to this one for Shabby. Now in the back of my mind, and guys, I'm done saving little scraps. Done, done, done. They're going in the trash. We're done. We've used them for what we want. Shabby. So what I had in the back of my mind, and what that project originally made me think of, was a paper sack. And I thought, well, you could do the same thing because the paper sack is already done up, you know. Now, usually we just glue right here and make a little pocket. And I thought I could cut here and fold these back like the tuxedo. But if I wanted to fold this up more, is there a way to cut this? Or should I even bother? These are just little tiny gift bags, and I got these at Hobby Lobby, but you could probably find them similar, something. They're just mini sacks for parties, and these measure, here, I'll just show you. So they're very small, 3 1/4 by 7 inches, and then your centimeters are there below, but they're just tiny. So they're perfect for using in journals. Anyway, so my thought was that I could basically decorate a paper sack like we just did the other project. Now, the thing about the paper sack is that before you start putting everything, gluing it down or gluing this into a pocket, you want to decorate the back first. So what I want to do, I have a few things here, again, that I collected as I was going through that seemed kind of shabby. And also in the back of my mind, the prompt is shabby, but for some reason I had shabby chic in my mind. So I don't really decorate in shabby chic, but we might just try. Okay. Yeah, that's not really a style I use, but look at that. So anyway, I was collecting some stuff, and I had these avocado dyed pieces I had purchased. I also brought over pink paper. I don't know. I just brought over some stuff that I thought would work. So if we use all of it, great. If we don't, great. But look at that. That looks kind of cute, doesn't it? I need to come down to me a little closer. All right. So first, let's start by putting this on. And I'm going to, I like to draw my lines so I know what I'm doing and where my parameters are. So I'm going to glue on the paper in the middle. Oh, scraping, I hate that noise. It hurts your teeth. Maybe I'm getting to the end of this glue stick. It's not. Well, that's great. Okay. And then I'm going to throw some glue around here, around the edges for securing. And then we're gonna lay it on there, line it all up. Oh, wow. That's not good because that will glue that shut. Let's get that off of there. I'm gonna use the wet one, and then I have a really old hand towel from ages ago. When my kids were babies, I used to go to these, to a secondhand store. It was a consignment store. And on the last Friday of the month, everything that they could not consign in the store, or that they would not accept for consignment, you signed a release, and then they were able to sell it at the end of the month. So they had their quarter sales, is what they were called. So everything was a quarter. So I found some really good stuff there that wasn't necessarily baby related, like that dish towel, but makes a great rag. Makes a great crafting rag. Anyway, so we dressed my kids for a lot of years in quarter sale finds till they got too big. There's a certain age where, like, you can't ever find jeans or shirts or whatever, but up until they were about, I don't know, 9 or 10 or so, just kind of depended. So I would go once a month, and I would I would take 20 bucks, and you can get a lot of clothes for 20 bucks when they're a quarter a piece. But I got really good at making sure I checked the condition on them and stuff because, you know, did the zippers work? Were the buttons attached? Is it something I could fix? What kind of stains did it have? That's where that rag came from, quarter sales. It was fun. Okay, so I guess that's kind of like a form of thrifting, isn't it? Now I want to find my center. I'm going to give it a little pinch. And honestly, what if we don't give it a collar? What if we just give it a round divot, because I just think that collar is going to interfere. Thumb notch. Speaking of thumbs, I feel like I'm all thumbs today. There we go. Now, let us glue this down. One nice thing about using these little bags, these little sacks, is that these are very well reinforced. So let's see, and I've already got a straight edge there, so trim that down. Going to throw out my scrap. I give you all permission. I think that was crooked. Yep, it was. Hold on. Just feeling so cocky about my ability to cut straight. And yeah. Okay, so there's that. Now, put this on here. There's that. What did I actually have to decorate with? Okay, so these, talk about saving every little scrap. These were pieces of washi tape that came on a package, and so I cut them off. They were on a glassine bag, and so I just took them off and saved them. And there you go. I think that's perfectly fine to use them now as a decoration. And then I have these little, these are stickers from the Dollar Tree a few years ago. Oops, that just ripped. And I really like them. Really, really like them. This looks like it's not gonna stick, so let's put it down with some glue. Anyway, I need to get this last little bit used up. So as I've been going through and sorting, I've really tried to be conscious of the things. So am I using this for journals or am I using this for scrapbooking? Because that's helping me sort things and put them away appropriately. That's so pretty. So we're just gonna start by gluing some things down here. But it's really helped me to figure out what is the purpose? Why did I save this item? And is it really something I want to create with, or do I want to let it go? So that's been good, but it's taking me a really long time to go through these cubby holes because I'm going item by item, box by box. You know what? I glued all the way down and I shouldn't have. Should not have. I wonder, this will get glued to a page, so I will probably just do that. It won't matter. Yeah, so there will be a final, at least one more video in the decluttering series. It's just it's taking me a really long time to get through things, much longer than I thought. And plus I had like 3 weeks in there where I didn't do anything because of other commitments. So, oops. This is very delicate paper. It's like it's shredding. Which is one of the things, one of the dangers we encounter when we save things for too long is that they start to come apart, fall apart, really. And if there's one thing I've been really realizing, it's that none of this stuff, paper, products, books, pottery, whatever it is in our lives, was not really intended to last for ages and ages. It was meant for us to use and enjoy. So by us hanging on to it, you know, we're not doing ourselves or the item any favors by not using it for its intended purpose in its intended time frame. That includes glues that go bad or separate, or you know, these other things that dry up, pastes and paints and, you know, sparkly drop things. This is cool. Do I want pink under it? I was gonna put this. So it's really giving me the opportunity to pare down what I have and to to identify what I really am wanting to use, and then to just use it, and to not keep waiting for the right project or whatever, because I feel like I'm constantly, I'm gonna have to throw this out. We'll just stick with wet glue for right now. Constantly trying to use up things that I don't care about as much, like all of these scraps or these little bits of cardboard, and not really getting to creating with the things that I wanted to create with, like the vintage cards and what else, you know, just all the things, the pretty papers and the special tags, or the ephemera that I ordered for a special project, and then I've not actually made the project because I'm, This is shiny. It's going to be hard to write on, and I think I intended all along to decorate on the white side, not the not the gray side. That's all right. Well, we'll put something back there to write on. Anyway, it's just really given me a better perspective and just kind of reinforced why it is I have all this stuff, you know? And I don't have as much as some people do, that's for sure, but I have plenty, and I haven't been using it to its full potential, and that's wasteful, you know? That's just as wasteful as just throwing things in the trash that don't belong there or whatever. So it's been a very valuable process for evaluating myself and really determining what these things are that I actually do want to use. Okay, I'm just going to go at that edge here and here. Let's go across there. I'm guessing. I'm not quite sure where that ended. And I need to bring my head in a little bit. So hopefully it's not in the camera, because I really hate that. It's hard to edit out. Oh, I forgot to say my warm welcomes today. Well, I'm just going to say a warm welcome to everybody. I used to do that when I first started my channel, to welcome everybody that had subscribed or said hi or whatever, and then I got away from it for a while, but now I'm back to it, and I like it, but I forgot to make my list. So know that you are all appreciated and welcomed and valued members of the Creators Call community, because I like it. I like it that you're here, and I'm glad that I help you guys get good ideas, and I get my good ideas from all the other people I watch, that's for sure. Once in a while I have an original thought, but when I do, I claim it, but not very often. Let's see, now, where are we at here? Okay, there's that. Now I wanted this lace. The reason I put the pink down was so there was something behind this lace. So I have to use the fabric glue for that. And one thing about it, if you get too much on, it comes off shiny. So you do end up having to spread with your fingers. And I also have to go along this edge. There we go. So we've also been in process of, you know, there's the things that I tell you guys about, but then there's other things I don't tell you about. Trying to get a tree removed. that's been a much longer drawn out thing than I wanted it to be. Chances are they're probably trying to call me to schedule it today while I have my phone on Do Not Disturb. That would be the way my life goes. But anyway, let's see, I have like this little scrap of homemade washi tape, which I think I might just put right there. And I had this teeny tiny, let's see if I can get this in the camera. Last time I did this, it didn't go back into focus. Used by permission that I cut off of something ages ago. Let's see if that helps. Make sure you're in focus. Anyway, I'm gonna just run those along this edge. This is just old double-sided score tape, and you ink it up and you tack it. Well, first you run the score tape along the back of like tissue paper, and then you ink it up to your desired color, and then you cut out around the edges. That was one of my very first projects I ever did. Gosh, I've got glue on my thumbs, it's bugging me. Anyway, I've been dying to use this little this little phrase. It's kind of dingy, but I don't know, it's cute. It's one of those little fun details, you know? Yeah, so what else? Oh, I got a big piece of furniture I'm having refinished that we've been lugging around our lives for, how old is Katie? She's gonna turn 30, so yeah, 29 years we've been lugging it around, and I finally found someone to refinish it, so I'm very excited about that. And she is bringing it back to its former glory. It's an antique, definite antique, because I'm pretty sure my husband's grandparents got it when they got married in 1900, so that makes it a actual antique. And it had broken glass and a broken hinge, and I've been carrying it around just waiting. I'm gonna tear both sides. And I'm gonna make it opposite. So this is on the left side of the pocket. I'm gonna put this on the right side of the tag. And I'm gonna try to tear it so the white doesn't show. And then I just want a piece that is big enough to go behind this. And we got all our pinks and inks. Let's see. Let's pull that out of there to get the visual. Let's try that. So this flower isn't pink exactly, but it's also part of that pretty washi tape. Oh, wow, nice, okay. Now, here's a thing that I have also tried to figure out for myself. What is my style? Does anybody know? Because I don't know. I just make things that are pretty. I still haven't been able to figure it out. So if you guys have an idea of what my style is, could you please tell me, fill me in? Sometimes you need the objective observers to tell you what's more about yourself than what you are aware of. Okay, so there's that. I have a feeling it might be botanical. And the stubborn part of me doesn't want it to be botanical because that's what everyone else does. But again, going through and sorting and seeing what it is that I keep and gravitate towards, I think I like pretty flowers. Well, hello again. I am back. Unfortunately, as I was filming my last segment, at some point the phone shut off. Now, when I discovered that the phone had shut off, I had filmed everything and I was doing my summation, not knowing where it may have shut off and thinking perhaps I hadn't filmed any of it. I went ahead to try to do something for you on camera that was in keeping with the two prompts. I made this tag here to go along with the shabby theme, and also because I didn't have anything to go inside this pocket. So I just used scraps from this piece here, and then I had a flower in my stash and a couple of doilies, and then incorporated the lace from over here. Trying to redeem myself, trying to quickly give a shout out about my video coming up on Saturday and the collab hop I'm involved in. Unfortunately, my phone shut off again. So I'm standing here right now looking from above onto my phone camera, hoping that it doesn't do it a third time. I think my phone is getting old and is trying to tell me that it wants to be replaced, and I am flat out refusing to replace it right now. These things are too stupid expensive, and I get tired of being dictated to by the technological industry. That's my rant over. Anyway, it was very frustrating, and I wasn't really sure how much was getting recorded. I've scrapped all the end of that video. I've cut out the process for making this, but I mean, you can tell. It's pretty easy what I did. So, and since you did get to watch me actually make these, and I did get almost the entire thing recorded, I feel a little bit better now having watched it back. So I went ahead and I made this off screen now, and now we have a tag in there. So that is all complete. Now, I noticed two things. I did have two little errors. First of all, when I was giving you the instructions for how to fold this paper, I was trimming it down from a 12 by 12 to an 8.5 by 12. Well, unfortunately, I folded it the wrong direction. I folded it this way, and what I should have done was folded it lengthwise and then done the zigzag fold. And I just brought this over here to show you because I don't have another piece of paper like that right at the moment. So anyway, you will see, or you did see, that I tried to tell you in the subtitles that I had folded this wrong. So again, just fold it lengthwise into a tube shape. Then that means I should, you don't have to cut off all that excess that I had. And then when you make your little zigzag fold for the bottom part of the pocket, I mean, that's still pretty big. You don't have to have it quite that big, but it looks a little more like the sack, and it's not as wide. So you can play with this part and just adjust how you want it to look. See, something more like that. Now it really does resemble this paper bag, doesn't it? Because it's narrower and it's a long and skinny tube, not this fat wide thing that I did. So yes, this still works and it still looks pretty, and I love how it turned out. But I realized in the pre-editing session that I showed you completely upside down and backwards. Also, what I did not do was make a tag for this little pocket right here, because we created this pocket back here and then I completely forgot to make something for it. So this one has turned out with this. Here's the bottom piece, and it slides in and out. And then I also noticed in editing that because of the way I glued the paper on, this is now upside down. That really doesn't matter. And if I wanted to, I could actually take a piece of trim or something that hangs down below, glue it on the back, and then that would cover up that red piece, and then I could just have a piece of lace dangling from the bottom like this, and then I would just glue it on the back, see, and that would cover up that problem. So anyhow, I thought I was doing so well today and turns out I wasn't. So to finish this off, this is how this tag looked, and then this tag, oops, this tag right here, journal card technically. So I did not have anything to decorate these two with like I thought I did. I'll have to go back and find something in my stash later and just put a little focal point, and I'm thinking something in like a black and white pen and ink kind of drawing thing. But that's how that turned out. I just wanted to give you the correct overview and to correct my mistakes. I have been given a golden opportunity to correct my boo-boos. So this I would just trim down, and actually I kind of like how that looks. It's nice and thin, so I will probably do that in a bit. I'll do that off camera because the video got too long as it was. But there is a pocket here, so it needs a tag. There's a pocket here, it needs a tag, pocket here, and pocket here. I have Dee Dee's video linked below. I will also link it in the cards up above. And then I have my Ephemera playlist linked at the end. Now the last thing that you did not get to see was that I decided to add a little topper to this tag, which I think just finished it off, and I just stapled it, and then I covered the sharp part of the staple on the back with some washi tape. So that just finished off this tag very nicely, and I'm super pleased with how these turned out. So please remember to join me on Saturday for my extra video this week as part of the Give a Scrap Hop. And thank you so much for joining me and for your patience today. Thank you all for checking in and visiting me each week. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please remember to give me a thumbs up. Hope you guys are having a great week. And until next time, be inspired and do something creative today. I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye-bye now.